Welcome, everyone. My name is David Simmons-Wood. I'm the Programs Director for Early Music America, and thank you for joining us for the final concert of our virtual Emerging Artist Showcase for 2022, and the final premiere with Duo Oriana, and we have soprano Sinéad White here joining us. Unfortunately, Jonathan was unable to be because as a active musician, he's out in high demand and couldn't be with us this evening. But Sinead, on behalf of EMA, to you and Jonathan, congratulations and thanks for being here.
Thank you so much, David, and thank you and EMA for the opportunity.
Absolutely, and you and I were just commenting that this year's virtual festival, all three of the videos were recorded in Canada. Your concert recorded it there in Toronto, where you are currently located, and that just happens to be. But we're so glad to be able to show some of these beautiful locations and what seems to be an excellent place for making music. So wonderful coincidence there. So how a little bit about your duo. How did you and Jonathan begin performing together?
So we met in Toronto pre-COVID. I moved here in 2018, and we kind of were collaborating on some projects together. And then it was during the pandemic, we were kind of keeping in touch on Instagram because Jonathan had moved to Spain for his master's and was kind of there when things got quite bad. So we were keeping in touch and I was checking in. And then by the time the end of 2020 came around, he asked me, do you speak Irish by any chance? Because I found this amazing collection of Irish music that was cataloged in the 18th century by George Petrie and would love to do some sort of collaboration. So I don't speak Irish, but I was born in Ireland, moved over to the States actually when I was a kid, and lots of my family speaks Irish. So I thought, okay, I don't speak it, but what a great way to reconnect with my family and take this time during COVID to kind of explore some more traditional Irish music that I hadn't really thought to explore before for some reason in a professional way. So that's how that started. We recorded back when everyone was still recording with the click tracks from home and then fusing the squares together. We did an Irish lullaby, Doch Grafin Shafein. And then that kind of morphed into a full program of songs from Ireland, England, and Scotland that we performed here in Toronto virtually and then recorded at my church job at Humbercrest United. And so that kind of got the ball rolling, and we just love performing together. And that's how it all started. COVID collab.
So with the combination, not a usual combination of the Irish with the other lute song. Obviously, it seems it works very well together. Is that something that you're interested in continuing working into the kind of things that you do?
Absolutely. So Jonathan, these are Jonathan's arrangements of these songs. So the one we performed in this evening's concert was a different lullaby, Show Hulo, from the same collection, but they were kind of collected and arranged in the 18th century. So they're a little bit, the arrangements are a little bit kind of clunky. So Jonathan wanted it to really ring on the lute and theorbo. So he wrote his own arrangements, and something that wasn't in this program is My Lag in Love, which is something we've recorded before. And we just absolutely love all of the different colors we can kind of find, different, like very modal and atmospheric. So we're definitely looking at more Irish songs from the Petrie collection, but also things like My Lag in Love. Those are just kind of more traditional and widely known songs that we're hoping to incorporate into our repertoire as well. So yeah, wonderful. That's something we'll keep doing.
Do you have upcoming performances or projects with you and Jonathan?
Yeah, so we are currently artists in residence at St. James Cathedral, which is where the concert was performed. So we just did a recital last week, and we have an upcoming recital in the fall as well, a new program. And in the month of August, we are doing a concert tour in British Columbia out west, house concert tour of this program expanded a little bit. So this program is music surrounding the different facets of nighttime, from kind of courts of England and Italy to Irish folk and English folk as well. So that's what we're working on. That's what's coming up. And Jonathan, I'm so sad he can't be here because he just got this beautiful new guitar that he would have loved to show off, I think. And so we're going to start kind of delving into some Spanish and Italian music too. That's kind of, we haven't started quite yet. We've been really trying to hone in and this program, but that's on the agenda.
On the agenda. And someone in the chat suggests that they think you would be wonderful with some air de cour. Have you considered air de cour as well?
You know, we just spoke about that the other day. So that's something that we would also love to explore. And actually, we've been, as part of our residency at St. James, we performed at a Vespers service, and we'll continue to do a few more. And Jonathan came across these really great, they're not air de cour, but they're French psalm settings by Valet. So that kind of got us, kind of gave us the taste of French music for lute and voice. So that's something we are absolutely hoping to explore as well.
Wonderful. So with a program like this, with the videography, is that something that you have done before, or the pair of you have done before? Is it something you've been a part of?
So we did the recording I mentioned at my church, Humbercrest United. That was recorded with the same audio and visual engineer, Tom Very. He's here in Toronto. So we had kind of had that experience before. That was like back in May with our program from Ireland, Scotland, and England. So we did have kind of a taste of what that's like, and but what we didn't quite realize, because when that was being recorded, we kind of just arrived at the time that we were going to perform, because there were other concerts being filmed as well. So what I didn't realize is how much goes into setting that up. Like, they were there for 3 hours just working so hard, the two engineers, and that leaves not as much time for recording as one would think. So I think the lesson learned for us was how much time you need to budget to do even just 25 to 30 minutes of music. It's so much goes into it, and we're so grateful to Tom for making it happen. And but yeah, that was a learning experience for us for sure. And in this virtual digital age, I think we all need to start, producing more of this sort of content. So yeah, it was such a great learning experience to have to plan this ourselves. Yeah.
We've heard from our other artists that it has, in addition to being a learning experience and figuring out how much time it can be to do what doesn't seem like very much in the final project, but also how it changed the way they approach to the partnership within their own ensemble and the way that they approach the music during the process. Did you find any of that yourself?
Yeah, well, I think Jonathan and I are quite lucky in that both of our schedules allow us to meet at the same time every week. So I feel like we really have developed kind of an understanding, and things that I was kind of nervous about it ended up being okay. I felt like I could really trust Jonathan. He's always there, and we had kind of worked to build that trust over the past year. We kind of started our regular rehearsing last June or July. So we felt really prepared in that sense, in terms of the partnership. And it's great. It's only a duo. So we really have become quite close friends as well. And I guess just in preparing a project like this, just the amount of admin as well that goes into it, and budgeting the time, what is rehearsal time, what is admin time.
Mm.
That was challenging, and just so we learned so much. I really can't stress that enough. It's so different than being hired to perform somewhere where everything's kind of set up and you just do your thing and you go home and so yeah, it was we both learned a lot, I think, about each other and our working styles, and I think it really helped us grow as a duo. So we're looking forward to doing more.
Well, that's wonderful. And as you mentioned, so much. It's so important to work with an engineer, videographers that you trust, and that sort of understand what they're doing. And clearly, you all have chosen that and have done that in this project. So we want to congratulate them as well for this project. It's honestly it's something for us to think about in the future. Is how can we recognize the talents of those people, which is, I guess, something different than we're really used to, is that additional artistic collaboration with those people.
Definitely, there's so many moving parts, and Tom is so great. Like, he just gave us so much time after the recording, even just to like sit through and listen, and really we felt really involved in the process, which was so nice. So yeah, it's kind of neat in a way. As much as I love, and I know Jonathan loves, live performance, it's so interesting to see what goes into this sort of project, and just kind of the things you can do. Like, even St. James Cathedral is quite large. We did a concert there last week, and I was thinking, like, oh my gosh, some people sat all the way in the back for this concert. I feel like it'd be more intimate to watch our video, actually, because you're really there with us. So yeah, I think it does open up a lot to do a recording. Yeah.
It's just another tool in the case. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Another way to do that. And would be a wonderful thing for someone who even went to a live concert to come and experience it in a different way. That's a great point. So on your own personal note, how did you come to this music yourself? How did you start with historical performance in early music?
Yeah. Well, this is funny because Jonathan and I have a similar kind of story. We both went to McGill. He was arriving just as I was leaving, so we never crossed paths there. But I moved to Montreal for my bachelor's. I was 17. I didn't necessarily know what early music was. I just went for like a general voice degree. But I think, as so many people know, the early music program at McGill is so strong, and the scene in Montreal. So I just I auditioned for the early music vocal ensemble the first year. I wasn't like too keen on doing a large choir, and I got to perform with the Capella Antica, and I was just totally hooked. Like, so much one-on-a-part stuff. And just so many incredible musicians. There were a few master's students in there as well. So I just felt like, oh, this is so great. I feel like I really get to connect with the people I'm singing with. It's like you can really explore some of the finer, more nuanced colors in this repertoire. And then lute songs specifically, I only really got into when I moved here to Toronto. I did a few things with Lucas Harris. I worked with him for a recital I did, and we did some strozzi, and that was kind of my first venture into just singing as a soloist with a lute player, and that just even takes it to an even more intimate level than the vocal ensembles that I had done. So that was kind of my entrance into early music. I got lucky that I happened to go to a city and a university that appreciates and champions early music. Yeah.
And a wonderful program there at McGill, and we've had several of our this year's showcase artists and past showcase artists have been alumni of McGill. So we obviously recognize the talent that comes from there and the great program that's been created there. Well, Sinead White, thank you so much. Congratulations. Please pass on our congratulations to Jonathan. And we're looking forward to more from Duo Oriana. And thank you and congratulations again.
Thank you so much, David. Thank you.
And everyone else who's watching on YouTube, you can find all of this year's Virtual Emerging Artist Showcase concert to watch whenever you would like on our YouTube channel. And you can also find 2 past years of the Virtual Emerging Artist Showcase, as well as our previous in-person Emerging Artist Showcase from 2018, 2019, and lots more at our YouTube channel. Early Music America is also found at earlymusicamerica.org. Thank you all for joining us, and we hope you have a great evening.